This province is running a horrendous deficit. We do not need to put a burden on the taxpayers of another $8 or $10 or $15 billion, or it could escalate more if we're not careful. And so we need to accept this amendment, to vote in favour of Bill 50 amendment, so that the people of Alberta will not be burned with this government and this desire to build transmission lines for who? And that's the real question. Why is the needs process being bypassed? We need to have that because we'll find out who really will benefit at the building of these transmission lines and why the government is giving the go-ahead. I understand that it was open season down in Las Vegas on the 17th of October. They've started to put bids on power, and they're already looking at that to be able to hook in to the Alberta new transmission lines that are coming forward. That's the real smoke behind all of this. We need to accept this amendment, and I hope that all members will vote in favour of this amendment.
Standing Order 29-2A is available. First of all, the honourable member for Calgary-Curry, then the honourable member from Highlands-Norwood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Wow, member from Calgary-Glenmore. That was a very interesting piece of information that you shared with us there, that Standard & Poor's report.
You're a fine man, but please speak through the chair so
yes.
the chair can follow.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. I've gotten a little careless at this late hour. That was a very interesting piece of information that the member for Calgary-Glenmore shared with us, because it seems to suggest that one of the fundamental arguments that the government has put forward in favour of Bill 50, at least in the public arena, is maybe based on a fallacy or based on some erroneous information. Could I possibly get the member from Calgary-Glenmore to speak a little bit more about that S&P report, to answer this question? If we've been told, and if one of the underlying reasons for Bill 50 is allegedly that we have this very old and creaky 20-year plus infrastructure, transmission infrastructure, and if in fact an objective analysis of AltaLink has shown that 60% of that infrastructure is less than 20 years old, is it the member's opinion that that in and of itself is reason enough to support this reasoned amendment?
The honourable member for Calgary-Glenmore.
Well, thank you, the honourable member of Calgary-Curry. The fact of the matter is that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors around this bill. And they're saying that we're in a crisis, and so many people, the seniors have been talking to me to say, you know, this is a Chicken Little story. And the fact is the sky isn't falling. It's not critical. If you look at the AESO reports that have come out in 2002, 2004, 2007, 2008, they're all changing. And why? Because the mandate and what their operating instructions have been changed to say we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to accommodate for high gas prices. 2 years ago, we were in a situation where gas prices were going through the roof. It's interesting in that policy paper put out by the University of Calgary, they say that in order to justify generation and the transmission lines, the price of gas would have to go up to $65 a kilojoule. But the S&P report really does reflect, because companies, when it comes to the S&P report, they need to put on their best front. And the bottom line is that they have an excellent bottom line. Their infrastructure is good, no different than someone who's living in a 20-year-old home. And we need to address this idea that it isn't critical, it isn't crumbling. I hope that answers the honourable member's question.
The honourable member for Edmonton Highlands Norwood.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask the honourable member from Calgary-Glenmore to elaborate a little bit more about the bid process that took place in Las Vegas, I think he said, for applicants who are going to be building connecting transmission infrastructure to southern Alberta.
This has to do with the amendment, does it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm looking forward to getting his speech. The honourable member for Calgary-Glenmore.
I've got so many papers here on my desk to find and pull out each one, but my understanding is, and I'm going to have to just go off the top of my head on this because I can't find the paper right now, but there's a Canadian company has opened up bids on a transmission line going through to Las Vegas. And I could bring you more information tomorrow on that or later this evening. But the bottom line is that they're opening it up to see if they can sell the electricity, and if they can get the bids and the demand is there, then they will be able to hook up and go through the connections. And again, that's my understanding of why these high voltage DC lines are coming in place. Many members have spoke to the fact that you need to transmit over long distances, and so if that link gets put into from the north down to Calgary, it's a much shorter distance to go forward. But the bids are going forward for electricity. Start on the 17th of October down in Las Vegas, and I'd be happy to get more information to you at a later date on that.
Others to participate, 29-2A, the Honourable Member for Calgary McCall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My questions are to the member from Calgary Glenmore. Does he have any information what kind of shape our present transmission system is? Is it in worse shape? Is it in good shape? Or is it in a fair shape? Why is there so big a rush to push the government?
Sorry, Honourable Member, but the time for this section has now left us.